Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold. Classic!
I'm only gonna do this once.
Yeah. It's the best daytime live show on all streaming platforms. It's the Classic Codes. You know I gotta come to the ring, man.
Fighting out of the southpaw stance. Standing at 6'2", 190 pounds. I give you, boy, I'm made different. I work too hard. Ain't no way I ain't getting paid different. This from the dirt, this from the mud. You ain't slave with me.
Yeah.
You can't come in with me now if you ain't came. I can cold skull looking at you side eye if you ain't with real life. I seen a couple people try and it ain't in prison. I only keep the people around that stood on 10 with me. And if they start to stand on 9, that's where it ends.
Let's go.
It can end quickly.
Let's
In
go.
the way I level up, I make them spin differently. I should start a foundation. They be make-a-wishing me. I got these hoes in a frenzy. They can't seem to get to me. Babe, I done mastered discipline. It take more than booty cheeks. Need a little more conversation, cause I still be trying to see. I be listening with my eyes. Yeah, I still be trying to see. I be moving like the prize. You can't find another me. Let's get focused.
Let's get focused. Yeah, it's Classic with the Classic Code. Shout out to the chat coming in early. The best chat on all streaming platforms.
Classic.
Yes, Lord. So today we got another great live show per usual. We got a few things to discuss. I want you to make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and make sure that you are active in the comments, whether you catch it live or on the rewatch, so we can have a conversation, because we got to crack these codes.
I know you see me trying to crack the code.
Today we got a reaction video. We got a TikTok reaction, a YouTube reaction, a question of the day, and a code language conversation. Again, like yesterday, don't have a lot of time to waste, so we're going to get straight into it. We're going to start off with Corey Holcomb and his podcast. Always a lot of different things that can be perceived as controversial, but me personally, Corey Holcomb is my favorite comedian. And because of how honest he is, because of how raw he is, and because of how fearless he is my favorite comedian. Him and his panel will be discussing a very interesting topic. And instead of watching this conversation take place, I decided to keep it so I can give an authentic reaction to the best chat in all streaming platforms.
Classic.
And that is Chat 333. So we're going to tap in with Corey Holcomb's podcast and see exactly what's going on with this and give an authentic reaction. Let's go.
Wait.
It's not possible.
Leopard. Yeah.
Anybody that tries to destroy anybody is not capable of love. It's an act they're putting on.
Man, Craig, that sounds like a bag of that good stuff right there.
Very selfish act.
Yeah. I mean, destroying somebody and leaving people in a condition that is reflective of their emotional feelings towards a person is a sickness. And those type of people can only view people as objects and pawns to manipulate to get what they want.
What if the girls say he wouldn't take care of his child, so I did what I had to do?
Yeah, that's a lie.
Well, I would say to her, well, how is it possible you have a child by a man that doesn't want to take care of his child? Have you ever thought about that?
Right.
Why would you have a child with a man who does not want to take care of his child?
They're having a child so they can be superior to something. It's not.
I think there's a nuance that's missing here. Shout out to Souls of Thought 333, the chat filing in. What's going
Classic.
on? I think there's a nuance missing here in this discussion. So they're posing a question. So they're talking about how, I think they're going to get around to talking about how does a woman love the child if they hate the father. But the question that they're posing at the moment is, why would you have a child with a man who doesn't want the child? Well, in a lot of instances for a lot of women, and this isn't me simping or pandering, but it's just me offering a bit of sympathy and maybe even some empathy to a degree, even though I'm not a woman. So certain things I can't speak past a certain point. But a lot of times the reason for them having that child is because they're already pregnant, right? Now, I think the question I would ask would be, why would you lay down with a man that, you don't want children with? I would go back a little further, right? Like, why would you lay down with a person who you know that you don't want children with? That would be my question. Not why are you having a child with someone who doesn't want a child? Because as men, as much as we say, oh, take that plan B pill or go ahead up there to the place and let them put that vacuum on the baby and all that. We aren't the ones who have to go through the trauma of the deletion of that pregnancy. We're not the ones who have to go through that. We're not the ones who have to take the pill. We're not the ones who got to go lay on that table and get the tools put up in there to get that shorty gone. You know what I'm saying? We're not the ones who have to go through that. So it's definitely a situation where it's easier said than done to say, oh, well, why would you keep it? I think I would go back a step further and say, why would you even get pregnant to begin with? But let's see where they go with this.
About the love of the child and the relationship, these people seek adulation. It's all about adulation and attention. It doesn't matter what type of attention. We talked about splitting a couple weeks ago where either they want to be your hero or a villain. Kids are something they could be superior to, something that has to listen to them, something that they can control. They have children for the same reason that they date niggas that are in prison, because they can control the interaction. They know where they are. They know what time they're going to call. You know what I'm saying? It's all about control.
Wow.
That's a very interesting take. So he's kind of speaking to the narcissism of the modern woman is what he's kind of saying. I don't know if I completely and totally agree, but I definitely have a complete understanding of where he's coming from, though. Let's go.
Even that one's wrong.
Right.
Even they're off with that one, because
Right.
those guys in prison are sometimes the worst ones because they don't know who else he's communicating with.
Right.
You feel me? Like, I'd be laughing at some of these girls like, oh my God, that's my guy. And, he don't talk to, girl, please. I mean, no, they be talking to a bunch. They could talk to a bunch of them and they wouldn't know it.
Right.
Because she don't have access to who he's communicating with.
Can I ask you a question? Darlene, if a guy is in prison and you're talking to him, why do you care who else he's talking to?
I'm not talking about me.
They
I'm
say
talking
he went to
about other
Shane's
women
barber.
that say that.
He went to who?
They say he went to Shane's barber.
That's hilarious. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the women that think that.
Wait, how are you speaking for them? Do you realize you're talking about yourself?
No, I am not. I'm saying that I know, because I know I deal with guys in prison because I still hook all their stuff up for them. These are my ex's friends. I'm saying the women that deal
Darlene,
with them,
you're giving yourself away.
I don't know what you're talking about. All I'm saying is that the women that I know of that think that there's something special because they're dealing with a guy in prison, they think it's the only one. You're not. I know, because I deal with those guys and I know.
You deal with what guys, D?
A lot of guys in prison. I've told you this before. They're my ex's friends are like family. We still handle a lot of stuff between
Darlene, can I tell you, can I ask you a
so
question?
I know how they deal with other.
How can you have a productive life if you're dealing with people in prison?
Dealing with in hell. What I'm saying is,
no, I'm asking you. I don't mean no harm. I'm
with Corey. You got an ex who has a multiples of friends that are locked up, and you helping them with keeping all of their stuff squared up and their situation situated, and it's your ex. So I hope you're not still dealing with these people that by way of your ex. I think that's a form of not letting go. She is giving herself away to a degree.
Fascinated by this.
No, but you make it sound like it's a everyday occurrence. Dealing with, you don't even know what that meant. Dealing with means they're still a part of our lives, like they're part of our family. So
can I tell you something?
We still do business and stuff with them, and we talk to them on the phone.
Who's part of your family?
What are you talking about?
I'm asking you questions.
I don't say names, but we have people that aren't actually related to us that are more loyal than blood.
That's true.
Okay.
But
that could happen. That happens.
I won't say their names, but yeah, because
you don't have to say their names.
Right?
So is this person a blood brother?
It's not just one person, but
it's a couple of guys you deal with in prison.
Yeah.
And what do you do with them, D?
It's our business, but my ex knows and all that. It's our.
Who is your ex?
Oh, stop. I don't know why
I didn't
he always
know.
plays
I'm,
like that.
I'm trying to
Why?
ask.
Oh,
I
no,
don't even
he's
know
being
why I'm asking.
I do. Oh, I do.
Well, why am I
know.
asking? Can
Oh,
you
no.
answer that?
That again, being loyal and being an up and up person, I'd rather not say.
Nah, I'm not with that. I'm not with that. But let's stay on the topic of the initial question that he introduced. How can you love the baby if you hate the father? I'm not with what she talking about. Like dealing with exes, friends that you feel like are family, you know, even though they locked up and holding them down, and you not even with the person that you know them through anymore. All of that shit weird. And then they men. So it's like you had an ex. She had an ex that's a guy, clearly. And then she got tight with some of his friends that are locked up, and then she's not with him no more, but still does and handles, and she said does business with, and you know, do different things together and all of that. You could never let go of your ex in that instance. You got a tie, you have a tie to your ex through the friends that you call family that you still deal with, even though they behind bars. That's a link. So like it's hard. Have you even let go of the ex? You might as well go and call him back. But in regards to kind of Soft Rain says she intertwined too much. I agree. I definitely agree. I think it was a lot going on for sure.
Classic.
But in regards to how can you love the baby if you hate the father, I think that's a unique question. I think it's a very unique question, and I don't know how that's possible. Because it takes two to make the child. We know that the baby comes from the man. It's incubated in the woman, but the baby comes from the man. So essentially she incubates his seed and then, you know, pushes out the life, you know what I mean? So when you see that child, there's no way not to look at that child and see the father. There's no way. When you look at that child, you see the father too. So if you hate the child's dad, how can you truly love the child? I'm interested to see, you know, what the chat has to say about this. Obviously, some of us or none of us have been in this situation, but opinions are welcome, right? They can't be right or wrong. Opinions are welcome. I've never heard this question posed before, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think my opinion on it is that you can't love your child at a level 10 if you hate the other parent of the child. I don't think you can love your child at a level 10. Do you have love for your child? Do you love your child? Sure. Is it the same as somebody whose love they have for their child? Where they have a working relationship with the other parent, whether they're together or not? I don't know if it's the same. And this is just my opinion. I could be 1,000,000% wrong. I'm just offering my opinion. Soul said, can you say that one more time? Which part, Souls? The question, how does a woman love the child and hate the child's father? I'm just offering my opinion on it. I don't know that a woman can love her child to the same degree. Or which part? You talking about the baby comes from the man and is incubated inside of the woman and the woman pushes out the life? Yeah. I mean, obviously the baby's going to get both of their DNA, but the child comes from the guy, goes into the woman, and then it incubates. There's going to be some splicing done, but it's very difficult. Yeah, Souls of Thought said, 1 second, let me ask my BM. She don't hate you though, Souls. I doubt your BM hates you, bro.
Classic.
Souls of Thought said yes. Yeah, the baby comes from the man. You know what I'm saying? It's incubated in the woman. Of course, the baby's going to get both of y'all DNA, but when that woman looks at that child, boy or girl, you also see the father for sure. So if you hate the father, how do you love your child to the highest level? Because it's levels, right? I don't want to negate nuances here, right? There's levels to it. So how do you love your child at the absolute highest level if you hate who the child came from? The child came from the man. So it's like, how is that possible? I don't know that it is, but that's just my opinion. It's definitely just my opinion. I'm not going to stay on this one too long, chat. I'm going to give y'all a second to try to kind of weigh in on this if y'all have anything, and then we're going to move on to the next. Soft Rain said, I don't hate my child's father. I dislike the fact that he chooses not to be present. I would like for him to be a present father. Even if I did hate his father, I birthed my child. I will love him unconditionally. I'll take no right or wrong to this one. No right or wrong to this one. Souls of Thought said, waiting on the BM's response. Yeah, I respect it. I appreciate you weighing in on this one. But you said, even if you did hate the father, I birthed my child, I will love my child unconditionally. I mean, yeah, I mean, and again, I'm not pushing back on what you're saying because obviously that's your personal take on it, and so there's nothing wrong. But I will push back on it in general as far as women as a whole, because you do have women that put their baby in a garbage can too. You know what I'm saying? You do have women that birth. All women birth their children, whether it's cesarean or natural. They all give birth to the child, right? And you got women that have put their baby in the garbage can. You got a woman who was found with 2 of her babies in a suitcase. You got women who, will leave a baby outside the fire station and dip. You know what I'm saying? So, and we don't even know if these situations have to do with whether or not the woman cares for the father of these children. We don't even know if these situations have anything to do with that. So I would imagine that if the woman dislikes or hates or has a strong disdain for the father, these instances can affect the way that the woman sees the child. I mean, we've heard this before, right? Like we've heard women actually say, I can't stand, like I look at you and I see your daddy. Like we've heard things like this. So for sure, we know that it does have some level of impact depending on the person. South Rain said, I understand your POV too. Oh yeah, that's what it's all about. We got to crack these codes.
I know you see me trying to crack the code.
Yeah, waiting on Norris to see if he gets a response real quick, and then we're going to move right along into the next subject, man. I appreciate the chat. I got the best chat on all streaming platforms, hands down. Hands down. But yeah, we'll come right back to that when Norris gets a response from the BM, even though I know she doesn't hate him. I highly doubt your BM hates you, Souls. Highly doubt it. But yeah, we're gonna move into the next subject, and then we'll come back when Norris get his when Souls of Thought gets his response for sure. Let's move into being on code. So I was actually looking at YSM Sports. Shout out to YSM Sports and everything that they got going on, bringing great boxing based content. And shout out to GHB TV, Greg Hackett Boxing TV. I frequent both of their pages a lot. They talk really good. They talk really good from a knowledge. From a knowledge-based standpoint, they speak at a high level about boxing. Let me get this pulled up. I thought I had it queued already. Chat. Give me 1 second to pull this up. So yeah, Greg Hackett talks about being on code. And I kind of want to get into that. It's going to be a segment of a whole interview. Here we go. All right, we got it. So yeah, he's going to talk about being on code, and I want to kind of chime in on that and give y'all my take on the position that he took in regards to this, and let me know what y'all think as well.
And have had in the past. It's been since forever. All this code shit is out of pocket because that's really dead. And the reason it's dead is because everybody is for themselves. So talking like that, you just trying to sound smart. A lot of y'all is pussies. Y'all not ready to die. And the reason I'm going that far is because when guys was really talking like that and standing for something, that's usually what happened to those guys. Huey P. Newton died, got killed over this shit. Even though they say the story was he was in the dope house. He was in the dope house getting high or whatever, and he got killed. Malcolm X got killed right in front of his kids. Martin Luther got killed. Fred Hampton got killed. Everybody who stood for something, that really stood for something, that was really trying to make a difference, they died. That's not what y'all trying to do. So code is, like you said, situational. I'll talk some shit and sound like I'm Malcolm X, you know what I mean, on the internet about a sparring issue, but I won't step up on some real shit. You know that kid, that guy George Zimmerman is still walking around, right? You know he's out of jail. Yeah. He's walking around. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the shit I'm talking about. None of y'all are ready to stand on no real shit and die. Standing on something don't mean standing in a crowd full of people and everybody got matching t-shirts on and we fighting for our rights. That's not standing on, man. We standing on it is taking action. You know what I'm saying? Just like T.O. running around saying all this shit. And yeah, a few people ran up on him and said a few things, but no, put your hands on him. Like, put your hands on him. You know what I'm saying? But they not going to do that because nobody really want to go through no real shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to go through the legal issues. Nobody want to go through going to jail. Nobody want to die. So at the end of the day, motherfuckers is just talking.
Yeah.
Because it sound good. That shit is corny. Stop. Because you're not ready to die. So if you ain't ready to die, stop talking like you crazy.
Yeah. Listen, I want to start off by saying I agree with everything. That he said. I see your comment, so I'm gonna come back to it. I agree with everything Greg Hackett said. I've expressed those same similar sentiments several times on my platform, on Souls of Thought platform, Uncle Plug TV. I've expressed those sentiments many times. You know, a lot of times we as in copper colored people or black folks, the so-called black person, we talk like there's this code or that there's a such thing as being on code and all of that. But honestly, being on code for most folks is conditional, right? I'll be on code if my freedom ain't at risk. I'll be on code if my life ain't at risk. I'll be on code as long as it don't compromise my ability to be here and provide for my family and take care of my family. I'll be on code if all it consists of is, like he said, wearing a matching t-shirt and taking a long ass walk down the street, repeating the same shit over and over, like it's going to affect change in some way, shape, or form. I'll be on code if that's all it consists of. But if being on code consists of me losing my life, if being on code consists of me ruffling the wrong feathers, if being on code consists of me, making an enemy out of, the state or the people, the powers that be, the so-called button pushers, the string pullers, if being on code involve any of that stuff, 95% of you niggas is not going to be on code at all. And I'm going to start with the men. Black men ain't ready to lay their life down and crash out about nothing useful. Largely, we are not ready to crash out about nothing useful, anything productive. We'll crash out for something petty. Yeah, something petty, we'll crash. Do 200 straight into a wall. Bow. But when it comes to actually affecting change or bringing about something that's going to, move the culture forward or push our people forward or create something for the next generation that doesn't currently exist, and maybe a little sacrifice in the way of your life may be involved with that. You willing to do it? You gonna be on code then? Are you gonna be on code then? Pardon my profanity, but in the words of the great Kevin Gates, the great poet Kevin Gates, it's easy to talk good as a bitch. It's very simple. The lips move, the tongue move, and then you just say a bunch of words. But when it's time to step, what size shoes you wearing, nigga?
Classic.
Ain't no code. That shit over with. It's over with. Matter of fact, I say it never existed. Not as a majority thing. Black folks ain't been on code as a majority ever. I can't find no time in human history where most of the black folks nationwide was standing on business past a certain point. Yeah, nationwide, you can get us to participate in some looting and some rioting. Nationwide, you can get us to protest. Save our streets. Save our streets. Save our streets. Yeah, nationwide, we'll mount up for that. For sure. Nationwide, we gonna mount up for that. Ain't too much kerfuffle involved. You understand me? But when it come to getting dirty, when it come to getting dangerous, when it come to 12 having to bring the K9 unit back out on us and bring the fire hoses back out on us, we ain't made them up the fire hoses and the dogs in a minute. I'm talking about nationwide. We ain't made them up the dogs and the fire hoses in a minute. We are subdued. So I respect what Greg Hackett talking about. I respect where he coming from. And I'm going to be real with you. If you're not willing to die for nothing, you ain't living for anything. And that's just what it is. I ain't even going to stay on that too long. If you're not willing to die for something, then you literally aren't living for anything at all in any way, shape, or form. You just here.
Classic.
You just round here. You just here. You just here existing and shit. We don't even need you. But that's my take on being on code. All right, the last one, we're going to get into the code language conversation. The code language conversation today is going to be on foresight. We're going to talk about foresight like we always do. Hold on. Oh, man, the tear's down. What up, 333? What's going on with it, dog? I see the gang filing in. Yeah. So the code language for the day, we're talking about foresight. So like we always do with the code language, we'll start off with the book definition and then go from there. Foresight, the ability to predict or the act of predicting what will happen or be needed in the future. That's very important. That second part is very important. Understand? So the ability to predict or the action of predicting what will happen or be needed in the future. I've always been a person who always said, if you don't have foresight, you ain't got no sight. And I stand on that. You got to be able to see ahead and understand that foresight involves hypothesis, right? But history has a way of spinning the block. I ain't gonna say all history repeat itself, but history has a way of spinning the block. And if you can recognize patterns, if you can put on the magic glasses and see things a certain way, you know what I mean? If you can be objective, then you do have a really good opportunity to have a higher level of understanding of what's to come on a personal level, on an individual level. You can have an understanding of what's to come, and on a marginal level, right? On a general level for the populace, for society, or for the earth even. You can kind of see what's to come if you just pay attention to certain things. You know what I mean? And I think also objectivity is essential when it comes to having foresight. If you trying to look ahead and you're doing it in a way of hope, and you're doing it in a way of emotions, and you looking ahead based on your desires, then there may be a lack of objectivity involved with your prediction or your projection, you know. But if you can look ahead, and you can do it with objectivity, like, okay, regardless of how I feel, regardless of how this person feel, based on this, and this, that is tangible, that is in front of me, that I can assess, the range of outcomes look like this. And the most likely outcome is this. You see what I'm saying? So if you able to be objective, and if you're able to, what's the word I'm looking for? If you're able to be intelligent, because intellect, being able to collect data, collect information, take the knowledge, break the knowledge down and interpret it. If you're able to do those things, you can actually have a great deal of foresight. I'll give y'all a plain example. A plain example of being able to have great foresight would be to reverse engineer. You can have personal foresight for what your projections look like on your potential, on your growth, on your business, on your, your progression, your fitness, whatever it is. You can have foresight and have a projection on that, as long as you're able to assess what you're able to do and how able you're able to be consistent, and look at the person before and model what they did. So if you pay attention to, okay, boom, I want to get in shape this way, and I want to get this type of body for myself, and I want to lose this much weight, and I want to do it, over time, but I don't want to put a time constraint on myself. You can project when you'll get there if you got a trainer, or if you just know somebody close to you that's already in that type of shape, or that's coming from the similar starting point as you, and they already did it. If you follow their steps and you reverse engineer, okay, I know if I do this, and this, even though we don't have the same DNA, we don't have the same everything, I should be ballpark in range within this time period. You see what I'm saying? Reverse engineer the success. There's no secrets to this. Like foresight for us, foresight for Souls of Thought, foresight for myself, foresight for Conversations with Soft Rain, foresight for Uncle Plug TV, foresight for the Tez Down. Shout out to Cortez and his channel. Make sure you go follow all them channels I just listed as well. Subscribe if you have not already. But foresight for those channels, we going up. You know why? Because I've never seen consistency fail anybody. Classic. I've never seen it. So if you reverse engineer those who are already successful, look at DDG, look at, I Show Speed, look at Anton Daniels, look at, all these different platforms that have levels of success, and you just trace back. That's the easy. Go to your favorite YouTube channel that's already booming and do the scrolling. Scroll. Go all the way back to the beginning of their journey and see what it was looking like. Look at what they did. Oh, shit, okay. This person got 250,000 subs. If I scroll back, I see that they've posted at minimum one video per day, every day for the last 7 years. And now they got 250,000 subs. So the recipe is right there in front of you. So if you say, all right, I'm going to start cooking with this recipe, then you can project your foresight. Can you say, oh, I'm going to have 250,000 subs in 7 years? You can't say that exactly, but you could say, I know that I'm going to be a successful content creator as long as I maintain consistency and I got some type of heat that I'm bringing to the people. So like I always said, if you ain't got foresight, you ain't got no sight. You can't see nothing at all. And at the same time, it's going to sound like hypocrisy because I always tell people that all you have is right now. That's very true. You have to be present to be peaceful. Oftentimes, looking ahead can breed anxiety. Oftentimes, looking back can breed depression or regret. So you don't want to look ahead for too long, but it is reasonable and responsible for you to have projections for yourself. Soft Rain said, gotta have that vision already. You already know. Wait, that what y'all saying, Texas? Already. Souls of Thought said, facts. Come on now. Come on now. You got to see it. You got to see it. You got to see it. You got to write it down. You know what I'm saying? Write it down, see it, and then every day. What my dog Souls of Thought say? Chop wood, carry water. Chop wood, carry water. If you can do that and you can do it with regularity. Today, I don't have a long time to give y'all a stream. I'm trying to get my rhythm with being back and working and getting my sleep schedule and my exercise, my fitness schedule. I'm done with physical therapy. I got to go the rest of the way on my own, which means that it's up to me, right, to get all the way back to my form that I was in, which was actually professional athlete form. Before I got hurt, I was in shape of the type of shape of a professional athlete, and I plan to get back there. You know what I'm saying? But you can't do those things without getting a routine together. So I don't have a long time to give y'all today, but I'm still here, right? Because we not going to miss days that we don't have to miss. I already got premieres set up for the rest of the night for y'all, for my subs. I already got premieres set up for the rest of the night. We got content dropping on Classic Code Sports tonight. We got stuff set to drop. I could have easily made an excuse for myself and say, we're not streaming today. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get in my rhythm. I already put some content out for the day. My people good, but I'm here. And you know why I'm here? Because pennies make dollars. And I'm reverse engineering the process to success. I seen the shit work. And I know it's going to work. So all I have to do is my part. And my part is being here.
Classic.
And not coming with no BS content. I feel like I'm bringing heat. So that's the code language for today is foresight. You got to get you some. If you ain't got none, get you some. And if you can't see ahead clearly, it's because of your perspectives, right? You either lacking objectivity. You either lacking a reference point, right? Get a reference point. You want to see ahead? Look at somebody who already been ahead. Look at somebody who already took the route and see how it went for them. Sometimes you may not have a success story that you can look at, but you can look at a failure story and reverse engineer the failure. I know everything from watching you. I know everything not to do. So I'm going to win.
Classic.
Yeah. So foresight, the ability to predict or the action of predicting what will happen or be needed in the future. And that's another piece too, that the or be needed, predicting what will be needed. See, when we have these conversations, and I ain't gonna give y'all too much because it's the World Wide Web, but when we have our back room conversations and our Zoom calls, and me and Souls and Uncle Plug and Soft Rain and Cortez, and we sitting in the back and we talking about what's to come and how we moving and what we gonna do and what we putting together, and we do all that, we talk about what's needed. What's needed? What do we, okay, how we gonna do this? What's your schedule? Okay, what days you available? All right, we got this. We need to get some more. We got this. We need that. This will probably be instrumental if we can get that. Whoa, and that's how you can see it. Like, okay, we keep on this path. There is no option that involves failure.
Classic.
And that's how you get your foresight together. So, like I said, I'm gonna end it with that. If you ain't got foresight, you ain't got no sight at all. You blind.
Classic.
All day long. But that's the code language of the day on foresight. Make sure you get some. Back to Norris's comment, he did get a response from the BM. Before I get up out of here, he said, BM said it depends on the situation. I can see that. And I would say it depends on the person too, right? Like it depends on the situation and the person. Because we don't all have the same character. We don't all have the same morals. We don't all have the same principles, same compass, everything, perspective, all of that. It's all unique to each of us. So I definitely could see that for sure. But yeah, man, I don't have time to do the chat Q&A today. I wanted to make sure I came and put my deposit into the digital real estate bank today. And so I had a hot 35 minutes for the chat, and I hope y'all really do appreciate it. If you watching this on the rewatch, please get inside the comments, because we did discuss a few dope topics today that deserve greater conversation that I can't necessarily provide right now, or else we'll be on here for 2 hours like normal. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I appreciate the chat. Again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications if you've already done those things. Share this channel, share our channels with people that you know, that you feel like would rock with the content. Even if you share it with people that you feel like would be completely against the content, we're here to have the conversations so that we can get to the bottom of things.
I know you see me trying to crack the code.
But all in all, no matter what, if you don't do nothing else, if you don't do any of those other things, stick to the codes. We got another classic.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold.